Well, what was happening 48 hours from January 4th? Why was it so important that they get her to confess to election fraud within 48 hours of January 4th? Well, 48 hours later, of course, was January 6th. Now, this woman told Ruby Freeman that she was in danger. She told her that people were coming to her house in 48 hours. That woman who came to Ruby Freeman's house and made that apparent threat, it turned out in the end that she at least some point had been a publicist for the troubled Trump-supporting hip-hop artist Kanye West.
Okay.
Is the banging on the door? Lord Jesus, where's the police?
They are on the way, ma'am.
Oh, God.
Shay Moss and her mom, these two election workers, literally just doing their jobs on election night, taking ballots out of the secure containers they were transported in, like they were supposed to, and running them through the ballot counting machine, like they were supposed to. But Trump and Giuliani and all the Trump folks and our friends at Fox News kept running this snippet of video over and over again, saying that it showed a crime, even though it actually showed just normal election workers doing normal stuff the normal way with no malfeasance whatsoever. But them fixating on this video, Trump not only showing the video, the conservative media showing the video, Giuliani showing the video, and Trump specifically naming the women in the video as the ones who stole the election from him, that had profound consequences. Shay Moss and her mom, even her teenage son, got inundated with vulgar and racist harassment and death threats. Shay Moss's mother called 911 multiple times because people were showing up at her house and banging on her door, making threats in person.
I've been having terroristic threats. I've been having harassing phone calls and emails, and they came out and made a police report yesterday. And last night, about 10 minutes after 9, somebody was banging on the door, and now somebody's banging on the door again. Oh, they screaming. He's still banging on the door.
Okay.
He's still banging on the door. Lord Jesus, where's the police?
They are on the way, ma'am.
Oh, God.
This became their lives. Shay Moss and her mother, Ruby Freeman, in the midst of all those harrowing threats and intimidation, something else happened. That tape, that 911 tape, was from December 2020. The following month, in January 2021, actually 2 days before the January 6th attack, a woman showed up on Ruby Freeman's doorstep, said she had been sent by a high-profile individual, and she was there to help Ms. Freeman. Now, this woman told Ruby Freeman that she was in danger. She told her that people were coming to her house 48 hours and she was going to be locked up. That woman who came to Ruby Freeman's house and made that apparent threat, it turned out in the end that she at least some point had been a publicist for the troubled Trump-supporting hip-hop artist Kanye West. We here on this show actually later determined that that woman who showed up on Ruby Freeman's doorstep had been dispatched there by a Trump campaign operative. When that woman came to Ruby Freeman's house, Ms. Freeman was so freaked out after a month of threats and harassment that while she said she was willing to talk with this person, she said she would only agree to do so at the local police station. That was the only place she felt safe meeting this random stranger. And so she went and met with her at the police station. And because it was at the police station, part of their meeting was caught on a police body cam, which Reuters obtained. We didn't want to frighten you, but we had to find you within this time frame. We've put in place a way to move you, to secure you from what may be authorized over the next 48 hours. I can't say specifically what will take place. I just know it will disrupt your freedom and the freedom of one or more members of your family. It's January 4th. The woman then says she's going to put Ruby Freeman on the phone with somebody, quote, very high level with the authoritative powers to get you the protection that you need. Protection from what? Ruby Freeman told Reuters that once this other person, a man, got on the phone with her, he and this woman who had come to her house to try to get her, to try to talk to her about moving her, and because something terrible was going to happen to her within 48 hours, the man on the phone and that woman at the police station with her tried to get her to admit to committing election fraud. Ruby Freeman says the woman told her, quote, if you don't tell everything, you're going to jail. Now, what's important about this, other than the bizarreness of it, is that the, quote, very high-level guy who Ruby Freeman got put on the phone with, this person who could supposedly get Ruby Freeman protection from what was otherwise going to happen to her if she just confessed, and otherwise she and a family member or more than one family member were all going to go to jail. Turns out that guy worked for the Trump campaign. He had been the paid executive director of a Trump campaign group called Black Voices for Trump. He told us that he was the one who sent that woman to Ruby Freeman's house in January. He claimed he was acting as a private citizen when he did that. He said he was no longer on the Trump payroll. He also said that he personally never threatened Ms. Freeman. He told Reuters he received calls from people offering Ruby Freeman immunity if she confessed to election fraud, but he wouldn't say who those people were or on what authority they would have been able to offer her immunity. And immunity from what? What would she be prosecuted for? She did not actually commit election fraud. But again, this all happened on January 4th. And they keep giving her this deadline, right, by which she needs to act. She needs to confess or she's going to get taken away, and maybe they can move her. Maybe they can keep her safe. 48-hour deadline. Well, what was happening 48 hours from January 4th? Why was it so important that they get her to confess to election fraud within 48 hours of January 4th? Well, 48 hours later, of course, was January 6th.